Humans were scattered across countless star systems, living under the harsh rule of an alien empire that had conquered their worlds long ago. Entire civilizations had been reduced to labor camps, mining precious resources, building alien cities, and performing tasks that benefited only their alien masters. Every human knew the weight of chains, not just physical, but mental, as their creativity and potential were crushed by the oppressors. Children grew up learning obedience instead of curiosity, taught to fear their alien overlords and to forget the stories of humanity's proud past. The alien rulers were advanced beyond imagination, wielding technology that allowed them to control entire planets, enforce strict surveillance, and quash any hint of rebellion. Humans who dared to resist vanished without a trace, leaving a permanent mark of fear across the colonies. Despite this, small sparks of hope persisted in secret corners of human settlements. A few courageous individuals remembered fragments of history, stories passed down from generations before the fall of human freedom. They whispered about the times when humans explored the stars freely, built remarkable machines, and solved problems with ingenuity and creativity. These stories, though faint, ignited a quiet determination in the hearts of some, reminding them that they were more than slaves. On dusty mining worlds, humans toiled under relentless sun or harsh artificial lights, their hands raw from endless labor. Yet even in these conditions, they found ways to help one another, sharing food, offering words of encouragement, and secretly exchanging knowledge. Old texts and schematics hidden in storage rooms or buried underground became treasures as humans studied them in secret. Learning about machines and tools their alien masters thought they would never understand. Children hid mechanical parts under their clothing to practice assembling them the night, while adults risked punishment to pass on knowledge. Each small act of learning and sharing was a rebellion in itself, a reminder that the human spirit could not be fully tamed. The alien rulers believed they had eliminated all potential threats, thinking humans too weak, too divided, and too frightened to challenge their control. But humans were patient, biding their time, observing the aliens' habits and weaknesses, documenting patterns in their technology, and silently planning for a day when they could reclaim what was taken. Even slaves whispered to one another about secret codes, hidden escape routes, and ways to communicate across planets without being detected. Every whispered conversation, every stolen schematic, became a seed of resistance. In crowded living quarters, humans spoke softly of freedom, sharing dreams that seemed impossible. Yet the act of dreaming itself was dangerous and revolutionary. They drew maps of distant stars, imagined building their own ships, and envisioned colonies where humans could govern themselves once more. These imagined worlds became a private source of strength, giving them hope that life could be more than toil and submission. Even when despair loomed, humans found courage in small victories, a successful sabotage of alien equipment, the survival of a comrade, or a secret message passed undetected. Each small success fueled the belief that oppression was not permanent. Among the alien overlords, some began to notice subtle signs of unrest, yet they dismissed them as minor distractions, underestimating the human's capacity for planning and perseverance. They could not imagine that creatures they considered simple laborers could still hold the knowledge, curiosity, and ingenuity that once made humans masters of the stars. But the humans' memory of freedom and their quiet determination were growing, forming a hidden network of hope and rebellion, ready to ignite when the moment was right. Life in slavery was harsh, unfair, and unrelenting. Yet humans endured, not just because they had to, but because they remembered they were capable of greatness. Each day of work, each risk taken in secrecy, each moment of shared knowledge became part of a growing force that no alien technology could completely suppress. The chains were heavy, but they could not crush the human desire for freedom, the urge to reclaim their destiny, or the spark of hope that one day humans would rise again and reshape the galaxy according to their own vision. Even in the darkest corners of alien-controlled worlds, humans dreamed, they learned, they planned, and they remembered. And it was this combination of resilience, memory, and courage that laid the foundation for the rebellion to come. A rebellion that would one day change not only their lives, but the fate of the entire galaxy. A few daring humans began to resist the alien empire quietly, knowing that any mistake could cost them their lives. They sabotaged machines, damaged supply shipments, and disrupted communication networks. Each small act of rebellion was carefully planned to avoid detection, yet it sent ripples of hope through the oppressed human communities. In the shadows of mining colonies and industrial worlds, humans met secretly to discuss their plans, exchanging ideas and strategies in whispers. Even small victories, like disabling a single alien transport or stealing vital supplies, became symbols of courage and determination. One young engineer discovered ancient Starship blueprints hidden in the ruins of an abandoned human colony. The designs were intricate, showing technology far beyond what humans had used under alien control. Studying them in secret, he realized that humans still had the potential to reach the stars again. His discovery inspired other humans to believe that freedom was not a dream but a possible reality. Groups formed around these rediscovered technologies, learning to repair, adapt, and build devices that could rival alien machines. Humans learned to work together, pooling their knowledge and resources. They shared their skills across planets, sending coded messages and secret parcels containing parts, tools, and instructions. Even under strict surveillance, they found ways to teach each other, showing that unity was a powerful weapon against oppression. Children were taught to observe, invent, and solve problems, becoming apprentices in the secret arts of engineering and strategy. Each new skill learned became a step toward independence. The alien overlords began noticing anomalies, machines failing unexpectedly, shipments delayed, and minor accidents that seemed too coordinated to be random. Yet, they dismissed these incidents as mere human errors, unaware that a growing rebellion was learning from each encounter. Every failure for the aliens became a lesson for humans, teaching them how to outsmart their masters and giving them confidence to attempt bolder actions. In quiet moments, rebels shared stories of human ingenuity and past heroes, reminding one another that humanity had once explored the galaxy, built magnificent ships, and solved impossible problems. These stories fueled creativity, courage, and hope, motivating humans to risk more, to dream bigger, and to trust that their actions could lead to change. Every new plan to sabotage alien operations became more sophisticated, showing that humans could adapt faster than the Empire anticipated. The rebellion spread like wildfire, first slowly, then faster. As more humans joined, observing the small victories of their comrades, entire colonies began preparing in secret, organizing themselves into cells capable of coordinated strikes. These human cells were clever, unpredictable, and difficult to detect, making them a growing threat to alien control. Even slaves who were previously too fearful to act now found courage, realizing that a collective effort could achieve what individuals alone could not. Every human action, from minor sabotage to gathering intelligence, contributed to a larger strategy. A secret network of resistance began to form across star systems, linking the smallest mining colonies to distant urban centers. They shared information about alien movements, technology, and weaknesses, carefully building a blueprint for a larger rebellion that could challenge the Empire openly. Even the act of communicating safely across light years became a triumph of ingenuity and patience. The young engineer's discovery of the Starship blueprints became a symbol for the rebellion, representing the possibility of reclaiming the stars and shaping their own destiny. Humans began experimenting with building new ships, testing engines and energy sources in hidden locations. Each prototype brought excitement, lessons, and hope, showing that humans could create technology to rival their oppressors. Hope was contagious, spreading across planets and colonies, turning fear into determination and despair into action. Every human involved in the rebellion felt that they were part of something greater than themselves, a movement that could restore human dignity and freedom. The rebellion was no longer just a secret, it was a growing force, fueled by courage, ingenuity, and the belief that humans were meant to be free. With each successful act of defiance, humans realized they could reclaim what had been stolen from them, that their ingenuity, resilience, and determination were stronger than alien control. And in the quiet of night, as they planned the next move, they understood that the first sparks of rebellion were only the beginning. a beginning that could one day ignite a revolution powerful enough to change the fate of the entire galaxy. A secret council of human leaders began to form in hidden corners of the galaxy, composed of engineers, scientists, strategists, and former military officers who had survived the alien occupation. They met in abandoned colonies, derelict space stations, and remote planets far from alien surveillance. Their purpose was clear: to unify scattered human populations, organize resistance, and plan for a future where humans could govern themselves once again. Each member brought unique knowledge, skills, and experiences, making the Council a powerful center of strategy and hope. The Council communicated across vast distances using hidden channels, coded transmissions, and encrypted signals, ensuring that no alien surveillance system could trace them. Every message contained not only instructions, but also encouragement, reminding isolated humans that they were part of a larger movement. The Council's presence gave direction to the rebellion, turning scattered acts of defiance into a coordinated effort. Humans who had previously acted alone now felt connected to a greater purpose. They shared strategies on how to sabotage alien operations efficiently, teaching humans to observe, plan, and act with precision. Every cell in the rebellion was guided by the Council, ensuring that even the smallest communities could contribute to the larger goal. The Council emphasized that patience and intelligence were more powerful than brute force, and that victory would come not from immediate confrontation, but from careful, deliberate planning. One of the Council's key objectives was rediscovering lost human knowledge, including technology, starship designs, and engineering secrets. Hidden archives, forgotten libraries, and abandoned laboratories became treasure troves for human ingenuity. The Council coordinated expeditions to recover this knowledge, teaching humans to understand and adapt the technology for their own use. Each recovered piece of human innovation strengthened the rebellion and reminded humans of their potential. The Council also focused on leadership and morale, knowing that hope was a weapon against despair. They held secret meetings where humans could voice concerns, share ideas, and inspire one another. Stories of past human achievements and heroism were shared to remind them that humans had once conquered the stars and could do so again. Even in the darkest times, the Council's guidance helped humans maintain faith in their abilities. They began to form alliances between distant human colonies, creating a network of mutual support and shared resources. Planets that had once been isolated now contributed supplies, intelligence, and personnel to the rebellion. The Council carefully managed these connections to prevent detection, ensuring that each colony remained safe while still playing a vital role in the larger plan. The unity they fostered transformed humans from scattered slaves into a coordinated, growing force. Training programs were organized secretly, teaching humans how to operate machinery, build starships, and plan strategic operations. Young engineers learned to repair engines. Older scientists taught about energy systems, and former soldiers instructed in tactics and defense. Every human involved gained skills that would later be crucial for the larger rebellion. The Council ensured that knowledge was shared widely, so that no one colony was powerless or unprepared. The Council's influence extended to the psychological aspect of rebellion, teaching humans to stay resilient under fear and oppression. They reminded humans that alien rulers underestimated them, and that intelligence, creativity, and cooperation could overcome even superior technology. Every act of learning, planning, and communication became part of a growing momentum that the aliens could not detect. Humans were becoming organized not only to survive, but to reclaim their freedom. As the Council worked in secrecy, small victories continued across the galaxy, from successful sabotage missions to the recovery of lost technology. Each success was celebrated quietly, but inspired hope far beyond the immediate colony. Humans realized that coordinated action multiplied the effect of individual efforts, making the rebellion a real threat to alien control. The Council's guidance transformed scattered courage into a growing, structured movement. By uniting humans under a single vision, the Council ensured that every action had purpose and direction. No longer were humans isolated, frightened, or powerless. They had leaders, plans, and goals. They were learning that freedom required strategy as much as bravery, and that their ingenuity, when combined, could challenge even the mightiest alien empire. And in the hidden corners of the galaxy, humans quietly prepared, strengthened by guidance, knowledge, and unity, ready to take the first steps toward reclaiming their destiny. Humans began discovering remnants of ancient technology buried in forgotten colonies and abandoned outposts. These artifacts were from a time when humanity had once explored the stars freely, building starships, energy weapons, and artificial intelligence systems far beyond the understanding of their alien overlords. At first, humans approached these discoveries cautiously, unsure how to use them, but curiosity and hope drove them to study every detail. Engineers and scientists worked in secret, piecing together blueprints and schematics that had been lost for generations. The rediscovered technology gave humans a glimpse of their own potential, reminding them that they were not inherently inferior to the alien empire. Starship engines that could reach incredible speeds, weapons capable of extraordinary power, and intelligent machines that could assist in planning and strategy became treasures for the rebellion. Each artifact became a symbol of human ingenuity and a tool that could shift the balance of power. The act of studying and repairing these machines was itself an act of defiance, proving that humans could learn, adapt, and innovate even under oppression. Small teams of humans specialized in different fields. Engineers focused on engines and propulsion systems. Scientists experimented with energy weapons, and programmers worked on artificial intelligence. They created hidden laboratories in asteroid caves, derelict stations, and remote planets, using secrecy to protect their discoveries from alien surveillance. Every successful experiment brought new hope, and even minor progress was celebrated as a step closer to freedom. Humans learned to combine ancient technology with their own innovations, improving designs and adapting them to their current needs. Engines were enhanced to handle long-range space travel. Energy weapons were modified for tactical efficiency, and AI systems were programmed to assist in coordinating operations. This process taught humans that their creativity, problem-solving skills, and adaptability were powerful tools, capable of overcoming obstacles that seemed insurmountable. The discovery of these technologies also inspired confidence among human communities, proving that the Empire's control was not absolute. Even those who had once felt hopeless now believed that humans could once again shape their own destiny. Plans were made to replicate and produce these technologies in secret, ensuring that more humans could access them without alerting the aliens. Each success strengthened the rebellion, giving humans practical means to challenge the Empire. As humans experimented, they discovered that alien technology could be studied and even turned against its creators. They captured alien drones, weapons, and ships, analyzing their functions and weaknesses. By combining alien devices with recovered human technology, humans created hybrid machines that were far more effective than the aliens anticipated. Each breakthrough showed that intelligence and creativity could outweigh superior numbers or firepower. The process of rebuilding technology also strengthened human bonds. Teams worked together for months, learning to trust each other, share knowledge, and solve problems collaboratively. Every challenge overcome, every machine repaired, became a lesson in perseverance and unity. Communities that once suffered in isolation now found purpose and pride in contributing to the larger human effort. Even children were involved in small ways, learning to assemble components, read schematics, and understand the principles of machinery. This early training ensured that every generation of humans became part of the movement, prepared to defend and expand upon their technological achievements. Education and innovation became tools of resistance, proving that knowledge itself was a weapon. The alien overlords began to notice anomalies, advanced technology appearing in unexpected locations, strange energy readings, and unexplained machine failures. But they could not trace the source. They underestimated the humans' capacity for learning and adapting, failing to see that every hidden lab, every secret workshop was turning ordinary humans into engineers and strategists capable of matching or surpassing their alien masters. As humans mastered the ancient technology, their confidence grew, fueling bolder actions. They began planning to build new ships, weapons, and systems, not just to survive, but to strike back. Each recovered artifact was more than a machine. It was proof that humans could reclaim their freedom and reshape the galaxy. The process of awakening this ancient tech became a turning point, showing that even in the darkest oppression, human ingenuity and perseverance could spark a revolution. Hope spread across the colonies, carried by whispers of new discoveries, plans for secret construction, and the growing belief that humans were no longer powerless. From hidden workshops to clandestine research stations, humanity quietly rebuilt its technological might, preparing to challenge the alien empire, regain freedom, and take its place once more among the stars. Humans were no longer just survivors. They were becoming architects of their own destiny, guided by knowledge, creativity, and the power of the technology their ancestors had left behind. Humans launched their first coordinated attack on an alien supply fleet, a daring mission planned in secret for months. Teams of engineers, pilots, and strategists worked together to design every detail, ensuring that the operation would succeed despite being heavily outnumbered and outgunned. The target was a convoy transporting vital resources and advanced machinery to the Empire's stronghold, and humans knew that stopping it would send a message that they were no longer powerless. The attack began at the edge of a dense asteroid field, where the humans used their knowledge of terrain and space physics to gain an advantage. Small ships, built from recovered and modified technology, moved silently among the rocks, avoiding detection while positioning themselves strategically. Every maneuver was precise, relying on teamwork, timing, and the careful use of sensors and shields. The humans' patience and planning allowed them to catch the alien fleet off guard, and the first strikes disabled several supply vessels before the enemy could react. Engineers operated from hidden stations, remotely controlling drones and weapons to maximize efficiency, while pilots engaged the enemy directly, using agility and surprise to their advantage. The aliens, confident in their superior firepower, were shocked to face humans who fought with intelligence and creativity rather than just strength. Every successful hit boosted the humans' morale, while every evasive move demonstrated that their ingenuity could match or even surpass the Empire's technology. During the battle, humans used unconventional tactics, exploiting weaknesses they had studied for months. They lured alien ships into narrow passages between asteroids, where large vessels became easy targets. They deployed energy disruptors and EMP devices that temporarily disabled alien weapons, allowing smaller human ships to strike decisively. Every action was calculated, showing that human brains and strategy could overcome brute force. The first clash was not just about destroying ships, it was a demonstration of human courage, resilience, and coordination. Across multiple colonies, humans watched the outcome with bated breath. Realizing that their efforts could truly challenge the Empire, even isolated communities began to believe that freedom was possible and that human determination and creativity could turn the tide. Despite the intensity of the battle, humans worked without hesitation, communicating through encrypted channels and signals. Every pilot and engineer understood their role, and every human involved knew that the success of the mission depended on trust, skill, and teamwork. When the dust settled, several alien supply vessels were destroyed or captured, valuable resources were seized, and the convoy's mission was completely disrupted. The victory sent shockwaves through the galaxy, reaching even alien command centers. They were surprised and alarmed that humans, whom they had considered weak and divided, could organize such a precise and effective attack. For the first time, the Empire realized that humans were not merely laborers. They were strategists, innovators, and fighters capable of coordinated action. For humans, the first clash was more than a military success. It was proof that all the years of planning, learning, and rediscovering technology were worthwhile. It strengthened their belief that rebellion was possible and that freedom was achievable. The engineers who built the ships celebrated quietly, knowing that every device, every innovation had contributed to a historic victory. Across human colonies, news of the attack inspired hope and action. Communities previously too fearful to resist began to organize. Minor sabotage operations increased, and communication networks expanded. Even children and youth were inspired to learn, experiment, and contribute in small ways, knowing that their efforts could someday influence the fate of humanity. The first clash became a turning point, showing that humans, when united and resourceful, could challenge the alien empire despite overwhelming odds. It proved that careful planning, teamwork, and clever use of technology could outweigh numbers and firepower, and that humans were capable of reclaiming their place among the stars. From hidden laboratories to mining colonies, humans celebrated the symbolic victory, understanding that it was the beginning of a larger struggle, a struggle that would require courage, patience, and ingenuity at every step. The first clash had ignited a spark, demonstrating that the human spirit, once thought broken, was now alive, determined, and ready to reshape the galaxy according to its own destiny. Humans returned from the battle not just as survivors, but as pioneers of a revolution, ready to expand their victories, reclaim lost worlds, and prove that even the mightiest empire could not suppress the creativity, courage, and determination of a united humanity. Inspired by their first victory, more human colonies began to join the rebellion, sending volunteers, resources, and intelligence to support the growing resistance. Communication networks linked isolated planets, allowing humans to coordinate attacks, share discoveries, and train new recruits in secret. The sense of unity gave humans confidence, transforming them from scattered survivors into a coordinated force capable of challenging the alien empire. Every colony, no matter how small, contributed to the effort, showing that even distant worlds could play a role in reclaiming freedom. Humans organized themselves into a fleet, combining recovered starships, hybrid technology, and captured alien vessels. Engineers and pilots worked tirelessly to prepare for operations that were bigger and bolder than anything attempted before. Each ship was equipped not just with weapons, but with intelligence systems and devices designed to exploit the weaknesses of the alien forces. The fleet was not the largest in the galaxy, but it was precise, adaptive, and built on ingenuity, a true reflection of human creativity. Strategists within the Council devised coordinated strikes on multiple alien strongholds, using diversion tactics, surprise attacks, and stealth maneuvers. The goal was to weaken the Empire's control gradually, ensuring that humans could gain experience and confidence with every mission. Operations ranged from disrupting supply lines to liberating small colonies, each success demonstrating the effectiveness of human planning and coordination. The Empire was forced to respond, stretching its resources thin across distant systems, while humans learned from every encounter, improving their tactics continuously. The human fleet became a symbol of hope and resistance, its presence inspiring even the most downtrodden colonies. People who had once feared punishment for any act of defiance now contributed willingly, whether by supplying materials, sharing intelligence, or training new recruits. The rebellion grew not only in strength, but in purpose, showing that humans were reclaiming not just land or technology, but dignity and self-respect. Humans employed creativity in ways the alien empire could not anticipate. Using hybrid ships that combined alien and human technology, they executed maneuvers that confounded enemy commanders. Mines hidden in asteroid fields, decoy ships, and energy disruptors were deployed with precision. Each mission taught humans valuable lessons, helping them adapt faster than their adversaries, and building the confidence that intelligence and strategy could overcome superior numbers. On liberated or partially liberated worlds, communities began rebuilding, restoring infrastructure, and preparing for self-governance. The Council encouraged these colonies to establish local leadership while remaining connected to the larger rebellion, demonstrating that human strength was not just in combat, but in organization, resilience, and the ability to plan for the long term. Freed humans shared skills, trained others in engineering, navigation, and tactics, ensuring that every person could contribute to the larger effort. Even amid battles, humans continued to innovate, improving weapons, energy systems, and starship designs. Pilots experimented with advanced maneuvers, engineers developed faster engines, and strategists devised new ways to outsmart alien commanders. The Empire struggled to anticipate these evolving tactics, often reacting too slowly to counter human ingenuity. Every success reinforced the lesson that humans were unpredictable and resourceful, capable of learning and adapting faster than any alien force. The growing unity and confidence also had a psychological impact on humans themselves. No longer isolated or fearful, people began to believe in a future where they could shape their own destiny. Children and young adults trained with enthusiasm, inspired by stories of victory and the example of those who risked everything for freedom. Hope became a driving force, fueling courage and determination across systems. Humans began to see that their rebellion was more than a fight for survival. It was a fight for identity, creativity, and self-determination. They realized that their strength came from cooperation, knowledge, and the refusal to be limited by fear or oppression. As the fleet grew and the rebellion spread, the galaxy began to notice that humans were no longer passive, powerless slaves, but an emerging force capable of altering the balance of power. Every new colony joining the rebellion added skill, intelligence, and resources, transforming humans from a small, hidden resistance into a formidable movement. The Empire faced growing challenges on multiple fronts, while humans gained experience, confidence, and unity with each operation. By learning to coordinate, adapt, and innovate, humans demonstrated that they were capable of not just surviving, but leading, rebuilding, and reshaping the galaxy. With every victory, humans strengthened their belief that freedom was within reach, that they could reclaim their worlds, govern themselves, and use their ingenuity to build a better future. The rebellion had become a movement of hope, courage, and intelligence, showing that humans, once oppressed and scattered, were now rising as a powerful, unified force, ready to challenge the alien empire and reclaim their destiny among the stars. Humans prepared for the ultimate confrontation with the alien empire's central command, the heart of their control and power. The fleet that had grown from scattered colonies now moved as one, coordinated and precise. Every ship, every crew, and every strategist knew that this battle could decide the future of humanity. Months of planning, training, and technological innovation had led to this moment, and humans approached it with a mixture of determination, hope, and careful calculation. The humans studied the alien stronghold from every angle, mapping defenses, energy shields, patrol routes, and communication hubs. Using intelligence gathered from previous encounters, they identified weaknesses that could be exploited. Engineers adapted energy weapons to pierce alien shields, while strategists devised maneuvers to avoid heavily fortified zones. The humans' advantage lay not in numbers, but in creativity, adaptability, and the ability to learn faster than their oppressors. The battle began with stealth and deception, as humans used decoy ships and hidden sensors to confuse the alien forces. Small attack teams disabled critical systems, opening paths for the main fleet. Alien commanders, confident in their superior technology, were caught off guard, struggling to respond to tactics they had never faced before. Each human ship moved with precision, relying on coordination, timing, and the element of surprise, demonstrating that intelligence and strategy could outweigh raw power. During the engagement, humans employed every advantage they had discovered and developed. Hybrid ships outmaneuvered heavier alien vessels. Energy disruptors temporarily shut down enemy weapons, and advanced AI systems coordinated attacks across multiple fronts. The aliens were forced to react, often too slowly or in ways that played into human plans. Every success reinforced the humans' confidence, showing that they could challenge the Empire directly, not just through sabotage or small strikes. Pilots and engineers worked together seamlessly, adjusting tactics in real time, sharing data about enemy movements, and responding to unexpected developments with creativity. Even when faced with overwhelming firepower, humans found ways to exploit terrain, asteroid fields, and orbital patterns to gain the upper hand. Each maneuver reflected the ingenuity that had been cultivated over years of secret study, training, and experimentation, proving that humans could adapt faster than any alien machine. The battle was not just physical, but mental, as humans outsmarted the Empire at every turn. Predicting reactions, laying traps, and fighting attacks, they forced alien commanders into positions of disadvantage. What the Empire considered minor losses were, in reality, strategic victories for humans, weakening morale, straining supply lines, and demonstrating that intelligence and creativity could overcome technological superiority. As the conflict continued, humans began to gain control over key systems within the alien stronghold. Captured command centers allowed them to disrupt communications, redirect energy flows, and turn alien defenses against themselves. The Empire realized too late that humans were not just fighting, they were reshaping the battlefield, using every tool at their disposal to achieve victory. The turning tide of the battle symbolized the shift in power, proving that humans could challenge even the heart of the Empire. Across the galaxy, humans watched and participated in the unfolding events with awe and hope. Colonies previously isolated by fear and oppression were now connected to a larger network of action, sharing resources, intelligence, and support. The success of the Central Strike inspired even the most downtrodden communities, showing that coordinated effort, innovation, and courage could overcome the greatest odds. Every victory in the battle strengthened the belief that humans were no longer mere laborers or subjects, but a species capable of leadership, innovation, and governance. Engineers, scientists, strategists, and pilots became heroes, demonstrating that knowledge, creativity, and collaboration were as powerful as any weapon. Humans realized that their strength came not just from technology, but from their ability to think, adapt, and act together. The defeat of the alien Central Command marked a pivotal moment, proving that humans could confront the most powerful forces in the galaxy. The Empire began to retreat, reorganize, and reconsider its approach, unable to contain the ingenuity, adaptability, and unity of the human species. Humanity had shown that they were capable of shaping events on a galactic scale, and that their potential could no longer be suppressed. From this battle onward, humans were recognized not only by themselves, but by the galaxy as a force to be reckoned with. Their courage, strategy, and innovation had transformed them from oppressed slaves into true galaxy shapers, capable of reclaiming their destiny and creating a future governed by human ingenuity, perseverance, and vision. With the alien empire weakened and scattered, humans began establishing governance across liberated worlds. Communities that had suffered for generations now had the chance to rebuild, restore infrastructure, and create societies based on cooperation, fairness, and shared knowledge. Engineers, scientists, and strategists who had led the rebellion now helped design systems for transportation, energy, and communication that would serve humanity efficiently. Every colony took part in shaping the future, ensuring that freedom was not just a word, but a reality lived daily. Humans focused on education and innovation, knowing that knowledge was the foundation of lasting independence. Schools and training centers were established to teach engineering, science, navigation, and leadership. Children and young adults learned not only the practical skills needed to maintain technology and fleets, but also the history of human resilience and achievement. Communities encouraged creativity, problem-solving, and exploration, reinforcing the idea that humans were meant to lead, innovate, and expand. Exploration became a priority as humans sought to reconnect with distant colonies and survey uncharted star systems. Rebuilt starships, enhanced with ancient technology and modern innovation, allowed humans to travel farther and faster than ever before. Teams of explorers mapped new planets, studied resources, and identified locations for future settlements. Every discovery fueled optimism and reminded humanity of its limitless potential. The universe was no longer a place of oppression, but a canvas for human ingenuity, adventure, and growth. Humans also forged alliances with other species who had suffered under the alien empire. Sharing knowledge, technology, and mutual support, these partnerships strengthened the stability and security of liberated regions. The galaxy began to recognize humans as leaders, innovators, and protectors, capable of balancing strength with wisdom. Cooperation with other species reinforced the idea that humanity's destiny was not only to survive, but to shape the galaxy with justice and intelligence. Trade and communication networks expanded rapidly, connecting distant human colonies and forming a foundation for interstellar economies. Resources were distributed according to need, and expertise was shared to ensure that every world had the tools to thrive. Humans learned to manage technology responsibly, using energy systems, transportation networks, and advanced machines to improve quality of life rather than control others. Governance became a reflection of the values that had guided the rebellion: unity, ingenuity, and fairness. Cultural revival also played a key role in reclaiming humanity's identity. Art, literature, music, and storytelling flourished, preserving the history of oppression while celebrating the triumph of resilience. Communities shared stories of bravery, invention, and resistance, inspiring future generations to continue exploring, learning, and contributing to society. These cultural expressions reinforced the bonds between colonies and reminded humans that their strength was rooted not just in technology, but in creativity, empathy, and shared purpose. Even the military structures were transformed, now serving to protect rather than oppress. Human fleets patrolled strategically, defending vulnerable colonies and trade routes, while training programs ensured that personnel acted with discipline, intelligence, and a sense of responsibility. Technology that had once been used to control and enslave was now repurposed to safeguard freedom and exploration. Every mission reinforced the lesson that humans were capable of wielding power wisely and effectively. The success of rebuilding inspired hope across the galaxy. Motivating oppressed species to resist tyranny and seek collaboration, humans became symbols of resilience, demonstrating that even in the darkest times, ingenuity, courage, and unity could reclaim lost destinies. Former slaves now had the tools, knowledge, and governance structures to shape their own lives and futures. The galaxy witnessed the rise of a civilization that had turned suffering into strength and oppression into opportunity. As humans expanded their influence, they continued to innovate, creating technologies that improved daily life, advanced exploration, and strengthened defenses. Each step forward reflected the lessons learned during centuries of struggle, showing that patience, intelligence, and cooperation were as important as courage and skill. Humans no longer feared the universe, but embraced it as a realm of possibility, opportunity, and growth. In every liberated colony, humans celebrated their hard-won freedom, honoring those who had sacrificed, while building a future that combined wisdom, innovation, and fairness. The galaxy had changed because of them, and humanity now stood as a force capable of shaping destinies, guiding civilizations, and exploring the stars with creativity and purpose. The journey from slaves to galaxy shapers was complete, proving that determination, unity, and ingenuity could reclaim destiny and inspire generations across the cosmos.